Today's recap is going to be more exciting than jumping through a black hole with a bag of carrots. We're about to dive into one of my fave sci-fi flicks from way back in the early 2000s. Get ready for some mind-bending physics, a schizophrenic teenager named Donnie, and a creepy bunny named Frank that'll haunt your dreams. Hold on to your bunny ears, folks, because spoilers are coming faster than a flux capacitor in overdrive. Donnie Darko, a troubled teen residing in suburban Maryland, has a history of violence and is diagnosed with schizophrenia. Despite being prescribed medication, he recently stopped taking it, causing him to sleepwalk. Donnie's family, including his parents Rose and Eddie, and his sisters Elizabeth and Samantha, express concern for his well-being. During a profanity-laced argument at dinner, Elizabeth reveals that she is aware Donnie is not taking his medication. Rose confronts Donnie in his bedroom, leading to him hurling a hurtful insult. Feeling remorseful, Donnie resumes his medication. However, on October 2nd, while sleepwalking, Donnie encounters Frank, a man donning a menacing bunny costume, who informs him that the world will end in 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. Later that same night, a jet engine crashes through the roof of the Darko family's home, destroying Donnie's room. Fortunately, Donnie was sleepwalking at the time, and thus narrowly avoided death. While en route to Dr. Thurman's office, Donnie and Eddie have a close encounter with Roberta Sparrow, more commonly referred to as Grandma Death. Roberta is an elderly woman who wanders aimlessly between her house and the mailbox across the street. During their encounter, Grandma Death leans in to whisper in Donnie's ear, sharing with him her belief that every living thing ultimately dies alone. This deeply unsettles Donnie. Several days later, Donnie has a hallucination in which Frank encourages him to commit an act of vandalism at his private high school. Specifically, Frank urges Donnie to break open the water main using an axe. Donnie goes on to embed the axe in the head of the school's bronze statue of its mascot, and also spray paints "They Made Me Do It" on the sidewalk. As a result, school is canceled for the day, and Donnie walks home alongside Gretchen, a new student at the school. Gretchen confides in Donnie, revealing that her stepfather previously attempted to kill her mother and is still at large. Despite Donnie's peculiarities, Gretchen finds him intriguing, and they agree to begin a romantic relationship. Donnie's relationship with the faculty at his high school is fraught with tension. While Miss Pomeroy values Donnie's intellect, his science teacher, Mr. Monatoff, is slightly more apprehensive about him. On the other hand, Kitty Farmer is offended by Donnie's questioning of her utilization of self-help tapes during class. When Donnie confronts Cunningham during an appearance at the high school and unleashes a verbal tirade, he only digs himself into a deeper hole. Frank continues to appear to Donnie, tempting him with the idea that they can do anything and get away with it. He also introduces Donnie to the concept of time travel, which only serves to further confuse him. Donnie starts to see tubes of fluid light emanating from the chests of his family members, indicating their paths through time. His own tube beckons him to follow, leading him to his parents' room, where he discovers a gun in a box. Donnie discusses time travel with Mr. Monatoff, who provides him with a copy of The Philosophy of Time Travel, a book authored by Roberta Sparrow, a former nun and teacher at the high school. However, as the climate at the school becomes increasingly conservative, with Kitty Farmer leading a protest against Miss Pomeroy's reading material, Miss Pomeroy is fired, and Mr. Monatoff, who is also her boyfriend, refuses to discuss time travel with Donnie once his inquiries veer towards a theological direction. Gretchen and Donnie become closer, sharing their desires to change the past through time travel. Dr. Thurman increases Donnie's medication and starts hypnotherapy. Despite this, Frank continues to appear to Donnie, even during a movie date with Gretchen. Donnie asks Frank to remove his bunny suit, and Frank reveals a gruesome eye wound. Frank directs Donnie's attention to the movie screen, where a portal appears showing Jim Cunningham's house. Frank tells Donnie to burn it down, and he does. Firefighters discover a hidden kiddie porn dungeon in Cunningham's mansion, leading to his arrest. Kitty Farmer decides to defend Cunningham, while Rose accompanies Sparkle Motion to Los Angeles to appear on Star Search. With Eddie away on business, Elizabeth and Donnie are left on their own. Elizabeth has been accepted into Harvard, and in celebration, she and Donnie decide to throw a Halloween party. On the night of the party, Gretchen shows up at Donnie's house seeking refuge because her mother has gone missing. Donnie comforts her, and they share a romantic moment, disregarding phone calls from Donnie's therapist, who is aware that Donnie is responsible for the damage to the high school and Jim Cunningham's house, and Rose, who calls to inform them that Sparkle Motion has won their first Star Search competition and that they will return on an over-evening flight that night. As midnight strikes, Donnie experiences yet another vivid hallucination of the mesmerizing fluid light tunnels. He realizes that the 28-day time period has come to a close and that there are only 6 hours left until the world ends. Donnie becomes convinced that Grandma Death and Frank are somehow connected, so he persuades Gretchen and 2 of their friends to accompany him to her house. Upon arrival, they are suddenly confronted by a group of bullies from their high school. The confrontation ends tragically as Gretchen is thrown into the road, where she is struck and killed by a car driven by Frank, Elizabeth's boyfriend. Frank is wearing the same creepy bunny costume that appears in Donnie's hallucinations. Donnie takes matters into his own hands, using his father's gun to fatally shoot Frank in the right eye before carrying Gretchen's lifeless body back to his home. Donnie steals the car keys from Elizabeth, who is sleeping, and takes Gretchen with him and drives into the hills above town. Donnie climbs up to a high point where he can see a time tunnel forming above the town. As he watches, he sees a red-eye flight, carrying Rose and the Sparkle Motion dancers, enter the turbulence created by the tunnel. Suddenly, one of the jet's engines breaks free and is sucked into the vortex. Donnie gazes lovingly at Gretchen before driving his car into the time tunnel. On October 2nd, Donnie goes to bed feeling happy and content. He later drifts off to sleep, only to be abruptly awakened by the sound of a jet engine crashing through his roof, killing him instantly. The following morning, Gretchen arrives at the Darko household, where Elizabeth, Eddie, and Samantha are grief-stricken as they watch Donnie's body being taken away. Rose stands nearby, smoking a cigarette. A young boy fills Gretchen in on the tragic events, and she timidly waves to Rose in a gesture of sympathy. Rose returns the wave.